You guys remember Gamergate? I'm sorry, that's like the worst way to start a video, right? Hey, you guys remember Gamergate? Well, if you don't, you're lucky. And if you do, I have some unfortunate news. We've never left Gamergate. It's back, baby, and it's worse than ever. So apparently this corporation called, or I guess incorporation called Sweet Baby Inc. is the reason why every single game now sucks. Every game. If a game is bad, if it's stinky, if you don't like it, if it's too hard, it's all Sweet Baby's fault. All of it. At least according to chuds on the internet. You see, there has been a marked rise in conservatism all across America. The world, really. But I'm an American, so all across America. And what that looks like is a lot of people being upset that things aren't the same anymore. So like, remember back in the day where every single protagonist was a white dude, and now sometimes they're not white dudes? That's a bad thing. And one of the main culprits of that, Sweet Baby Inc. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know everything there is to know about this corporation, but what I do know as a gamer is that gamers are fucking weird, and a large percentage of them who have these conservative ideals thinks that games work a certain way when they actually don't. They believe that if a game is bad, you can pin everything about a game, every single thing, to one person or to one entity. Back then, that entity was Anita Sarkeesian. Why? Because she did a small series, Women versus Tropes in Video Games, about women's and tropes in video games. And a lot of gamers didn't like the fact that there was a woman who wasn't one of us analyzing game as a form of media, an art form, because games aren't that unless it's beneficial to be that, then games are art and should be critiqued. But she had criticism. And now her videos, again, weren't flawless, but on the whole, she wasn't wrong. There is a certain way that we portray women in video games. There is the damsel in distress. There is, women being treated as objects. Just like there was not great representation for black people in video games, and it's still not super great. And the reception still isn't super great, because people will use that as the basis of a game being terrible or not. And be like, well, see, we gave people a chance, and now they can't be leads because we didn't like Forspoken, which I feel like got dinged a lot harder than it should have. But now we won't have another black female lead for like another 5-6 years. But any lead with the white dude and it flops, we'll just try another white guy. He'll be fine. And that was sort of her analysis when it comes to women, right? She was public enemy number one. I mean, she got death threats. Then you had the whole thing happen with Zoe Quinn. You had, again, the full swing of Gamergate, which just became a harassment campaign towards women in gaming. And now we're seeing the part two of that, because that never really went away. And we're seeing the beginnings of that again with this whole Sweet Baby thing. Trying to pin the ills of gaming on one consulting corporation, just the fact that they consulted on something makes it automatically bad, is such low tier thinking. I cannot believe that you guys actually exist. There is no way one company who doesn't even make the games is responsible for a game being bad. Because what if the games are good? Are they no longer responsible then? Actually, let's see what the games they worked on, see if they're all just trash, awful, terrible games or not. Okay, starting with Alan Wake 2. Oh yeah, that was a bad game. Oh fuck, that game sucked. God of War, more like God of War. I can't believe they had these woke people working on it. Goodbye Volcano High, yeah, terrible game, awful. Sable, yeah, super fucking boring. Didn't like the game at all. Spider-Man 2, wasn't that the worst selling game of Sony's history? Wasn't that game fucking terrible, actually? This game hasn't come out yet, I don't think, actually. So I can't make a joke about that. But like, of all the games on here they worked on, right? It's Suicide Squad was the bad one. The one game. And it wasn't bad because of, it being woke. It was bad because it was boring. It was a boring, repetitive game that didn't have much offering outside of its shooting, which was and didn't do good enough to, capture people's imagination. Also, the fact that you had these 4 different characters, they all moved the same, and the only difference was like some of them movement abilities. But anyways, yeah, and their clients, Valve, Xbox Studio, 2K. So you're not going to buy games from Warner Brothers, Valve, EA, Xbox, Santa Monica Studios, Fenji, Compulsion Games, who else? Rocksteady, Deck 9, Raw Fury. Remedy, you're not gonna buy any of these games because they worked with them, because that's how it works, right? If they are involved in the game, then the game is automatically garbage and bad and terrible. Like, it's so stupid to think this way. A consulting company just is contracted and they just say, hey, here's our opinion on these things. But the real issue is a lot of these people hate wokeness. Wokeness is ruining video games, even though they have no idea who is working on these games, what these games are about, what exactly is the function of each group, if like they're working on the narrative arc or some banter or like sensitivity reading. Which, let me tell you something, you guys, lots of people have sensitivity readers, like writers especially have sensitivity readers, because you don't want to needlessly harm people with these topics you're talking about. You want to make sure people can still enjoy your content without alienating a large group of people you are specifically trying to reach. Kind of like how game companies like money and gamers give them money, so they want to have the biggest appeal to gamers. So for you gamers who get mad that, oh, but now the games have gone too woke. No, buddy, it's just like in gaming, you either evolve or die, and you guys are not evolving. Oh God, this is just like the dumber version of Gamergate. Long story short, you people who get so upset that diversity exists need to understand one crucial thing. Without diversity, none of the games that you like would exist. None of them. Oh, you like those Japanese games? They're not made by Americans. I know these people love to uphold the Japanese game market as like the last bastion of non-wokeness because we can objectify women freely and no one gives a shit. That is still diversity. That is still diversity, the thing you claim to hate. Because you guys cannot be honest with yourselves and just admit that you don't like it when you aren't pandered to specifically. It's okay if you're pandered to, but the second you're not pandered to, oh my God, it's the worst thing in the world now. Now these games are too woke. Now everything is terrible. Oh, now you're shoving it down our throats. You guys are the actual babies. And this Gamergate 2.0 nonsense, like, oh my God, you guys. Like, here's the way. By the way, the big drama now is Sweet Baby Inc. is going after a Steam curator. That's it. That's the thing that's going to galvanize you guys. That's the thing that's going to take out the entire gaming industry, not the insane standards they have or the expectations they place on their developers, but a consulting company going after a Steam curator. By the way, I keep saying going after, but the actual situation is so much dumber than you could possibly imagine. Like, basically, there's a Steam curator who has his list is called Steam. His Steam list is called Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, and it tells you to basically not play games if they are involved in it. And so people who worked on the games were like, "Hey, that's kind of discriminatory and harassment because you're telling people to play our stuff just simply because we're involved with it," and yada yada yada. So that is where it's coming from. 2 employees, I think, talked about it. That's it. He has a list that says don't buy this game specifically because these people are involved. And what is this corporation involved with? What do? They tell stories of like marginalized people and want to have more representation and more diversity. They're acting as if there's this company's work that literally kills babies and like we shouldn't support them. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. And it only makes sense if you are the type of person who hates it when other people have things for themselves. It's a weird thing. Just to clarify, though, this isn't a big world-ending, shattering event, but much like the original Gamergate, all they need is this one little thing to make it this huge thing. Okay, is that cleared up? No? Okay, whatever. That's what it is. And not even like going after, it's like, it's so fucking stupid. I just want to talk about it in case this thing blows up, that like, yeah, I'm aware of the stupidity happening in gaming spaces, but I don't want to direct too much energy to that anymore. So if you're one of those people who are just like, oh, diversity, woke, whatever, just don't follow me. Just fucking block me. Just go away. I don't want that energy anywhere. This is a weird video. Let's ooh, I know. I'll end it on like a early mid 2000s YouTuber. Well guys, that was the videos. Thanks for watching. If you watched it all the way through, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you dudes next time.